Hello and welcome to Intelligence Racing League's second evaluation race for the Group 2 guys, which I'm guessing are not as rapid as the first guys, but slightly more speedy than the third guys. I am LOE Mark. You may or may not know me already. I recognise obviously quite a few names from various different places. So hopefully this won't be too you won't be too judgmental on me, because I am not going to be your regular commentator. I'm kind of filling in for the guys at the moment in place of the guy that is going to be commentating your division a lot more regularly. But yeah, we are here. We are at the Red Bull Ring, formerly known as the A1 Ring, formerly known as the Austria Ring. Probably butchered that pronunciation, but yes, A1 Ring was redeveloped by a certain controversial Herman Tilke, who decided to change the layout of the fabled Austria Ring, which used to go straight on at turn 1 and kind of weave around the Styrian Hills a little bit more than it does now. Very, very nice track, very, very loved track, and yeah, I think we can all agree he didn't do a too bad job on this one. He's certainly better than some others. Fantastic track in the Styrian Mountains, and we are hoping to have a very good race. So I have been pre-warned that there are some quick guys in here to keep an eye out for. I believe there is my old sparring partner, someone I've raced quite a bit, IRO Dylan, who beat me in a race last night in another evaluation race, and F1 Ferrari, I have it on good authority, this man is a little bit speedy, so we will keep an eye out for him. But obviously we will keep an eye out for all the drivers in here as a general whole. I know that particularly Cos Stumpy and I would say Educk also, from my background knowledge, have very good pace, but I'm prepared to be surprised. I am prepared to see what people can do. So let's have a little look at the comments while these guys are going round. Mr. Pop XL, Mr. Extra Large over here, he is the first man around the track. The horn is coming, McCrew. I promise you the horn is coming. You will be in for a treat when that one gets dug out. But here he comes around the second to last, round the Red Bull Mobile corner. Bit wide, but pretty good line, and that will be a 1:03.2. Very good opening bandit there. Very good lap. And who have we got behind him? Educk can't beat it, nor can Dylan. There are Renault and Paulus coming through. What can he do? 1:03.8, not quite as quick. We've got a Mercedes, that'll either be J-Luke or Storm. I believe it's J-Luke. J-Luke coming over the line now, and he will do an invalid 1:08. That's not what he was after. We've got a Ferrari coming through. Is this Cos Stumpy? No, I'm just not able to read. We've got DJ Williamson, who is not the guy, but it's United Bosnia coming over the line, and that's good enough for 6. That's a 4. He'll need to improve on that. But yeah, good start. We've got Killer Brent coming up to, I believe this is his in lap at this point, and I think we have a natural breather coming on purely because the times. But this is a push from TCG Storm on the mediums. On the mediums for a 1:05. 4 guys not setting a lap yet. That's DJ Williamson, that's Mech Kieran, that's F1 Ferrari, and J Luke. What can J Luke do? He seems to be, I think this is an in lap because he's running out of fuel, unless I'm mistaken. No, he's carrying on. So we have to be a bit tread lightly going on the in lap, but this is going to be a 1:03.8. Good enough for 8th place. But the first man over the line is the first man in first. But it's not being the first man in first, it's being the last man in first. Particularly at the end of the race, and not the first bit, the last bit, not the first bit. But still, very good lap. 1:02 puts him well over a tenth clear of Felipe, and behind, not too far behind, and even less so far behind, in regards to Eduk is Dylan and Killer Brent. Some very positive laps out there, doing very, very, very good times already. Tough track to completely hook up, even though it's short. You would think that sometimes that would probably benefit lap time, but if you do make a mistake, it's almost impossible to get it back round here without really, really, really throwing in an absolute worldy lap. So, we have that natural breathing space. We've got some guys going around, and I believe these are just nice and quiet out laps at the moment. So I'm just going to give this a little post. And on we go. So the fitted, this is a bit glitchy, this one, unfortunately, so we're going to have to put up with this. Ferrari is coming around. This, I believe, will be a lap in anger of some sorts, as he comes flying round the third to last, doing some incredibly nice lines through here. Definitely can see that he is one of the favourites. This is a push lap, without a doubt. This is going to be a 102, no, 103.1, and he does go pole. So my sources are not wrong, and they've done a good job letting me know who is quick. Dylan comes over through his out lap. Killer Brent, I believe, yeah, this is also an out lap. He's invalidated. I think he's invalidated on his out lap, and unless I'm mistaken, that's probably where he's come off. That's going to invalidate his actual main lap too. So not too bad, not terrible, because you can get 4 runs here. It's not the end of the world. There are worse spots than here. If you do that at Spa, you're going to be in real trouble, and you're going to have to pick from probably 2. Pop's going slightly quicker. Is it going to be enough? It is! Oh! By just over 100th of a second, Mr. Pop pops it on pole, and that was a fantastic lap. We have Eduk coming round. He is also on a fly. He's invalidated that lap, no doubt, and that's not going to count, unfortunately, for him. Storm's still running around on those mediums. Don't know if he's got the old sandbags out. Dylan on a atrocious lap. Very poor lap from him. He's obviously had a bit of a wobble somewhere on track, and that wasn't ideal for him. We've got DJ Williamson on an out lap. Of course, Stumpy not far behind him, and I think these guys will be worth following and just following through to get a bit of an idea of where they're going to be through. Yeah, only 14 today. A bit of a quiet one. There is a 24-hour event going on, which is never going to help attendance. And also, yeah, you know, just bits and bobs. It's certainly maybe in Europe it's a bit sunnier weather than over here, because it is a cold. It's not cold, but it's not a particularly nice day. So, given the choice, I'm glad I am spending my afternoon with you gentlemen, rather than being out there in the rain. But yeah, it's looking like an interesting kind of opening gambit to these times. Obviously, everyone really that's set a lap in anger is in the freeze. DJ Williamson is someone that's used to being at the sharp end in some of the lower kind of divisions at Through League racing, so I'm pretty sure he will be able to get in the freeze, as well as Stumpy, who definitely can do it. DJ Williamson now over the line in a 3-4 flat. Cause Stumpy comes over the line in a 4-5. Not perfect. We've got LR Patrick. No, he's in the pit. Yeah, the Ferrari of F1 Ferrari is on a outlap, as is United Bosnia, who is following just behind him. Paulus is on an outlap. Mekiran is not. Mekiran is coming round. Can he not invalidate it here? Such a great camera. Probably too conservative there, and that's going to cost him time, and that's going to only put him in 6th place, so that isn't ideal at all. Killer Brent also on an outlap. DJ Williamson and Cos Stumpy will be coming in, and I believe the next man will run on board with Mr. Pop, because he is going to be the next man over the line. And it might take a minute or two, so it's going to be a very, very, very close race, I think, from the looks of this. Austria always is fantastic for racing. It's a bit guilty of having some trains, and I've just missed F1 Ferrari there. Apologies to that man. Completely and utterly dominate a lap in the 2s. This man, well, that's very quick for a middle percentile lobby. That is very quick. Now let's actually ride on board with Mr. Pop now then. Let's see what he can do. Is this going to be quick? A big lock up. Very easy to lock up round turn 4, to be fair. And kudos to him for running no ABS. Sector 2. He's looking really tidy. He is quicker, but he's not quicker enough. It's unless he gains a mammoth amount of time in the last few corners, that is not going to be enough to pop him on pole, and he runs wide, and the game is just so strict at the moment. I personally like it. It's a bit Marmite. Comment your thoughts on it. I'd be very intrigued to know what people think about the track limits. Are they too strict, or is it better? Is it better that it's more uniform and people can't take advantage of weird little glitches in it that other people know? Two coins, two sides to the coin on that one, I feel. Felipe will be coming round. This is a lap in anger. Oh, he just invalidated it. I thought he might. Just looking at the line he took there, and that wasn't ideal. Storm will be coming around, and he will be doing a lap. And do you know what? I want to see something good from him today, because he has struggled in recent time. From what I saw yesterday, I was in a race with him yesterday. He didn't have the best of times there. It would be nice to see him, because I've seen him race previously. I know he's capable of some good laps. As Patrick is going to improve. Must have been invalid. All the game's lying to me. It could be either or. DJ Williamson on that outlap. Look at Edux. Oh, Edux had a Western Supermare there, and he is not looking to. You've got plenty of time to get back. Is the only benefit with this track. 5 minutes in, normally it'd be a bit sketchy. As J Luke, is that an actual purple sector? It may well be. It looks very smooth. We're going to ride on board. This will definitely be an improvement if he can keep it in bounds. He has there. This is the other kick. Oh, he's wrecked it. Oh no, but it's not invalidated him. And he jumps up to 5th. Oh, there's me talking about consistent track limits, and he's nearly ended up in Hungary there, rather than Austria. He's managed to make it stick. I think the stewards were having a nap when that happened, as Patrick comes round, and that's going to be a 3.7. That sticks him still in 10th. I'm rooting for Storm now. He's not having the best of times of it, but I think he's got more in him. Stumpy is going to improve. He has to improve. It shouldn't be too hard to improve. Oh, he's an invalidated lap, but the good news is he'll be able to get back to the pits. So that's good for him. He's going to have another go. Yeah, J Luke even noting that it was a rather lucky situation. I have no idea how that wasn't invalidated. I'd have put money on that. That was a bizarre one. No, it wasn't. There's definitely nothing, obviously nothing untoward about it. It's so easy to go wide there. Yeah, just nothing really, nothing to say really. United Bosnia on his outlap. Stumpy comes in. He will have time to get round. It's close, but you normally take about a minute in those pits. Now Kieran coming round. Mr. Pop. F1 Ferrari, he's having another go. He's just outside his time. He seemed to do really well in Sector 3, so he's really going to have to push. He's got nothing to lose. Oh, he's nailed it. I think this will be quicker. It was. It was quicker. He absolutely nailed that last corner. Fantastic effort. What can J-Luke do? Nothing, he's on an invalidated lap. Now he... oh, that's going to be super duper tight. As he takes a rather mad lad line. It'll be interesting to see if J-Luke does get round. What can United Bosnia do? Very off pace. Obviously something's happened through here. Mayor Kieran, he might be able to just nick. Ah, and he's invalid, and he's furious with himself. He knows that's his last run. Mr. Pop off to start his flying lap to see if he can take over the lead from, I mean, it's going to require some effort. That was one of the best Sector 3s I think I could wish to see. A 2.8, that is some serious speed. He has had his Weetabix today. Storm, not so much. That didn't look particularly good there around that last corner. That wasn't one that he'll be a fan of. Let's have a little J-Luke check, shall we? He's still in the pit. Oh, he's wrecked it. He's absolutely had a Western. There's no... ooh, he might get... do you know what? He's going to absolutely have to fly here. He's going to basically have to overheat his tyres a little bit, probably. Way past what they need, as Paulus, I think, just improved. We've got Killer Brent on an outlap. Mr. Pop. Now, Mr. Pop is on a lap. It's not... oh, no. Backed out. I think that's pretty much it for pole. We had someone round there, I believe, which wasn't particularly ideal. Educ comes over to start his lap. Killer Brent is just well, he's taking the Bottas line, I believe. I believe that's what it's called. He's taking the Bottas line. Hello, Patrick. I don't know what's going on with these timing screens. They don't seem particularly accurate to me. DJ Williamson, he cannot improve. J-Luke, he's got there. He's got there. He is going to be the last man over the line. Fantastic effort from him to actually keep that going. As United Bosnia can't have been on those tyres for that long. Lots of retirements, lots of yellow flags, lots of people getting out of the way. I think Educ's on a flyer. I hope he wasn't impeded there by Paulus. I don't think he was, in all fairness. But just going off the track map. Oh, he's invalidated it. Felipe's all over the show. Dylan, he'll want to improve. Oh, and he does. Up to second. Absolutely clutch lap. Can Killer Brent say anything about this? No, he cannot. LR Patrick, he's over the line. We've got Felipe. Felipe's round. Oh my life. And J-Luke, he is the last man over the line, as we know. And it wasn't worth it, because he's invalidated. It would have been a 3.6, so it wouldn't have mattered. So I say he was the last man over the line. Actually, it was Felipe. Thanks to his off-piste activities there. Yeah, Stumpy feeling the pain of some invalidations. The one thing I would say is, with it being a 14-man lobby, starting on the mediums is a very, very, very nice advantage to have, provided you go soft medium, because you're not going to have that wealth of people that you're battling that are directly related to you in regards to race pace. You've only got 4 probably. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 will start on the softs. We don't know. But you would think that most of the guys at the back would start on those meds. It's a shame really, because Stumpy I think could have put in a decent lap based on the 4.5 on his mediums. But F1 Ferrari does take pole to Dylan, to Pop, to Felipe, to J-Luke, to Killer Brent, to Eduk, to United Bosnia, Mayor Kieran and Paulus, and then outside the top 10 is Patrick, Storm, Williamson and Cos Stumpy. Yeah. DJ Williamson is on no assists. I was going to say, his pace is not normally that slow. You haven't heard a single horn yet because, you know, we're out in these streets. We only bring out the horns for good reason. I do hope your race goes better, Storm. I hope DJ Williamson's race goes better too. I hope everyone has a good race. DJ Williamson in particular, if you're doing that no assists quest, always going to be tough. Always going to be tough to transition. It's about kind of relentlessness, I think, and a bit of persistence. But normally eventually you find that people do get quicker. Who's going to win? Someone give me some input on who is going to be taking this win. I would say that F1 Ferrari, obviously starting on pole, is going to have a decent chance, but Dylan is no slouch. So our little AWS insights there, probably not too far off the mark actually, for a change from them. Probably is about right. You know, you want to be pitting, I don't know, I would guess lap 12, lap 11, probably lap 11 I would imagine. I've not done any practice for this track, so please don't take my word for it, but it wouldn't surprise me if I started to see people coming in lap 11. Jab reckons the top 3 stay the same. Yeah, no, potentially, but the funny thing is with this track is that all it takes is a slight little problem. I mean, the one thing I would say is that if there is a bit of chaos in the midfield, and Patrick, Storm, DJ Williamson and Stumpy can hang on to the back of these guys with their medium tyres, they have got them on. So if they can keep in that train, what you'll find is that they may well also have a very good chance, if they can keep their nose clean, of potentially challenging for a podium. With damage off, I think that always helps as well, because the big risk about doing the reverse strategy is if you ping your wing and it ends up looking like a homeless man's teeth after about 30 seconds of the race, and then you end up having a really big problem of then either fitting on those horrible hards or doing basically a one stop but with a stop go penalty. Look at this heat haze. This must get you in the mood. And here we are in Austria at the start of evaluation race 2 for Group 2. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and away we go. And F1 Ferrari gets a very good start. Dylan's looking good, very, very good. But Mr. Pop with a fantastic start. He's going to look to go around the outside here. He gets a bit squeezed off. There's no, it looks to be all fairly clean. Oh no, I say that. And then our Patrick has absolutely wrecked it. Thank goodness there's no damage on here, because that could have been messy, as we've got a 3-way fight here for the lead. F1 Ferrari keeping it. But Mr. Pop has got past Dylan. Everyone seems to be safely through turn 2. Storm and Stumpy are having it all over the show here. I think that was a bit of a connection issue more than anything else. Paulus with a terrible start, realistically. He needs to be doing better than that. All the 2 racing points. This reminds me of a bit of a Perez and Ocon situation. We've got Eduk and Mayor Kieran fighting it out. Kieran has to give way, and Eduk takes control of that. Great start from Williamson. That's what we want to see. Killer Brent in a bit of issue. He's maybe in a little bit of contact there, potentially. I'm not entirely sure. But Eduk now right on the back of him. He's going to look to go around the outside. No. No, no. Wise idea. Keeping pens down is going to be so key here, as F1 Ferrari naturally sets the fastest lap of the race. We've had some issues. The lobby is... Oh, someone's round. I think that's Edok. I can't catch him enough. Oh, and Cos Stumpy. Oh! Don't reverse into the path of people, guys. That is messy. Ah, the lobby's gone mad. This is not helpful at all. I'm going to have to follow F1 Ferrari, who is in the actual lead, and then we've got Mr. Pop, and then we've got Dylan, and then J-Luke. Ah, it's all fixed itself. Bit of a weird glitch, that. United Bosnia is going to be very popular in the world of J-Luke because he is holding these guys up and causing a mad train. All he needs to do is keep these guys off, and the top four are probably bolted. They're probably gone. Dylan's in a bit of issue because his DRS is broken. But yeah, DJ Williamson having an absolute worldie. I'm hoping these times... Oh, 3-second penalties everywhere. There was 2. I think that might have been J-Luke and it might have been Dylan. DJ Williamson off to a flyer. Eduk, he's got room to build now. He's going to have to really, really push. There's J-Luke now looking onto the back of Dylan. That's not what Dylan would have wanted. Oh, but Killer Brent up the inside here of United Bosnia. And that's a move that's going to get done. That is beautiful work. And of course, there is DRS though. He's really pushing. He's pushing that overtake. United Bosnia is going to take the inside line. And oh, this is always the problem. Yeah, he's had to filter back in. Oh, what a move! That is one of the best moves I've ever commentated on in INL. I know it's not been long, but that was genuinely very good. That was absolutely probably worthy. I think that was. United Bosnia with a 3-second pen. Paulus right on the back of United Bosnia, but lads, it's time for that overtake. We are going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it. Air horns out. Air horns out there for Mayor Kieran. That was absolute different gravy. Killer Brent now leading this new pack, and it's kind of as I said, the problem is now, but he is catching J-Luke, so he's actually bringing these guys with him. Storm now looking on the back of DJ Williamson. It's not quite enough, and these guys are in their own little world realistically. They should be working together. You would hope these guys work together to kind of bring them up through the field and keep as close to that train as you physically can get, because you can't win the race on lap 4 on medium tyres. A Storm is now just behind. It'll be interesting to see how these two play it. Kieran, that's a terrible view. Yeah, Brent is just leading off this pack. DJ Williamson and Storm. Storm seems to be quite content to sit behind. Don't think that's a bad idea. Meanwhile, up top, there's a Ferrari in front. Scenes not normally seen. Now Kieran, everyone's kind of everyone's almost seemingly happy just to filter through and just get ridden along with this train. But Paul, some of these cameras are terrible. I'm going to ride on board with this one. The Storm does get past. And not as flashy, but you can get so much more action with these. Paulus now. Up the inside. And United Bosnia had to yield. He had to yield, and that's good racecraft from both of them. Things we like to see as J-Luke is feeling the pinch. I think he's pushing quite hard. Considering that Killer Brent doesn't have any DRS, and he does, that gap has not grown massively as LR Patrick picks up a 3-second time penalty. So that will be worrying signs really for J-Luke, that he's getting pens, trying to break away from the pack behind, and it's not a pack you want to get involved in. It really isn't. So Kieran, and Kieran's not pushing hard enough on Killer Brent. Oh, DJ Williamson and Storm having a right ding dong. They're not listening to my advice at all. They are hammer and tonging it, taking it to the streets. As Kieran up the inside, can he? Ooh, just about enough room. That's good racing. That's hard racing. We have a yellow flag, and that is Eduk. Eduk is round. We're not going to cut to it. We've seen where he's got off there over at turn 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. It's turn 2. Don't be an idiot. But yeah, no, Kieran makes a small mistake there, and that's just gonna make things quieten down a little bit now. There's DJ Williamson now. Just falls off the back a tiny bit. Not a bad place. Storm and DJ Williamson. Bad place at all. You've got Cos Stumpy at the back. He's going to be looking for a move at some point. But we can't break away from Paulus. Paulus up the inside of Mayor Kieran. So easy to miss your breaking point. And he is going to have the benefit of having that DRS. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, but Kieran does as well. So this is just creating a big old train. And Brent now actually losing some time. He is losing some time. And J. Luke is going to be able to just pop along with Dylan. Mr. Pop's race pace looks fantastic. I think we all thought that Mr. Ferrari, kiss of death there, 3-second time, Ben. I think we all knew that Mr. Ferrari might well do very well this race, but Mr. Pop looking like he's got slightly better race pace than Dylan. At this point, Paulus with a 3-second pen, United Bosnia with a 3-second pen. It is so easy. DJ Williamson with a 3-second pen. It is not easy out here to keep your nose clean. Cos Stumpy is round. And we're migrating a host. Cos Stumpy has left the session. Well, everything seems stable. Everything seems stable, so that's handy. That is good. Kieran needs to think about getting past Brent now. If he wants to get, if he wants a chance of a podium, he's going to have to push, because I don't think Killer Brent is going to give him any opportunity to get anywhere near J. Luke, realistically. And J. Luke and Dylan are just flying off into the sunset a bit, and that is not good news for Paulus and Kieran, who may well just have that pace. They may well have the pace to actually catch, but they can't find out in this dirty air with this terrible situation of being under DRS. I think Killer is probably using lower wings or something, because they're not catching anywhere near as much as you think they might. Bosnia pits very early. Very, very, very early. Very, very, very early. As LR Patrick picks up another time pen. I think that's his second, from my understanding. Kieran is close enough now. He goes round the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh, this racing point. A Red Bull round that corner. Switched roles there. Oh, that's a dangerous place to try and go send it up the inside. But it's interesting. He's kind of, Kieran is really trying to compromise his lines and make sure that Killer doesn't get away. But Paulus now. Paulus is in this fight. He's never gone away from it, but he's closer now than ever. And I just think Kieran's not getting a good enough exit off that corner for him to get close enough. I mean, with the way the DRS is here, I think it's a little bit unfair, to be honest, because it gives you 3 bites to get anywhere remotely close to someone, as he's going to potentially look like he's sending it around the outside here. Very hard to get this done. You actually don't want to, at this point, you don't want the DRS. I mean, you want the DRS and you don't want to be ahead. So who's got it? It is Brent. Paulus is going to potentially do 2 in 1. Apologies for the cough. But he's overtaken Kieran, and that has cost very, very dearly Mayor Kieran. Unbelievable. And do you know what? I had to bring it out. I had to bring out the air horn for Mayor Kieran, but I now have got to bring it out for Paulus. Absolutely great stuff from him. Seeing an opportunity, he's been very patient behind this. It's so easy to get frustrated in it. Just give him a kiss of death. He's got a 3-second time pen. Nightmare. But these guys, these are my duo. I'm supporting these guys. I'm not being neutral. Forget it. I want these guys to do well. I want to see an uptake in their fortunes. Storm and DJ Williamson seemingly are working together. They're not losing much time as Eduk gets another pen. United Bosnia's gone on those hards. Now, that's very interesting. We'll get to see as Paulus and Killer Brent now taking it to the streets. I've missed that. I do apologise. And Kieran, it's like the roles are reversed. He's now on the outside. Oh, and he just potentially gets it done. Oh, he loses under traction and Paulus has got him. Paulus is struggling here. Oh, sorry, Kieran is struggling against Paulus. It's not looking completely good. And I tell you what, if they keep fighting, if they keep doing that, what you'll end up finding is that Killer Brent gets away. So they have to be... It's like a dance with the devil round here, because your enemy is your friend almost. There's Dylan's round! Dylan and J-Luke must have made contact. And Dylan has ended up in the wall. I think he probably got squeezed like a tube of toothpaste when it's running out, and then that's ended up putting him down into 7th. And now look, we've got TTG Storm all over him on those mediums, and it gets worse. It gets worse. We've got Paulus and Killer Brent. I can't keep up. My voice is going now. Paulus up the inside, and this will be a slam dunk move. There's no worries there. No dramas. DJ Williamson has lost it. Absolutely dreadful news for him. He was doing so well alongside his rival slash frenemy there for trying to catch up with his soft pack TTG Storm, and it's not quite worked. But Brent now gets the chance for the first time really to hunt rather than be hunted. And it'll be interesting to see how aggressive he is. He takes a very wide line. He's going to get a warning there, I'm almost certain. It's compromised his entrance and his exit out of this corner. As Paulus picks up another time pen. Kieran, very wise. I like that. Takes the opportunity for the undercut. Will it work? That's the big question. He wants Killer and Paulus now to take it to the absolute streets and get in battles. And hopefully that will mean he can kind of dust that off. Kieran's put on the hards. Absolute head's gone. Absolute head's gone. Moment of silence for Mayor Kieran. Back to the action as he's now battling Eduk and manages to get him, but I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of those tyres. Don't think there's any need for them. Might be wrong, but that seems a very bizarre decision, particularly in a no damage race where you're not at risk of a puncture. As Mr. Pop, wow, well there's his chances potentially going Pop. He's got a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane as we've got Killer Brent is round. He's very lucky he's done that where he has, because he can just put it in the pit lane. And it won't have cost him as much time as it potentially could have. Mr. Pop, where do you come out, sir? Comes out in 5th as LR Patrick gets another pen. Popping up a lot, LR Patrick. Maybe I'm just picking on him, but Killer Brent obviously way down now. We've got DJ Williamson around. Yeah, he's had enough. He's had enough. Kieran can't seem to stretch away from Eduk too far, and that's going to be really, really compromising for potentially for his race. And all of a sudden, I mean, these guys are going very long. They might well be trying to extend the stint so that they have fresher tyres at the end, but am I just wrong? Am I wrong in saying that this is soft medium? I think I might be. I think I might. But surely not. It's interesting, isn't it? He's barely breaking away on those tyres as United Bosnia gets it done against Eduk. Fantastic effort there. I'm just finding it very, very very strange that the people have put on these tyres that they have. Ferrari and Storm now flying off. Obviously Storm has to pit, we have to bear that in mind. Mr. Pop, Edoc does pit. And Kieran, well, you know, those tyres are going to come into their own a little bit towards the end of the race. He's going to, and to be fair, there's enough people on them that, you know, the people around him are on them, so that's not necessarily too bad. It'd be interesting to see how the gap between him and Paulus develops. J-Luke has been caught by Paulus, really, because of that drastic undercut, really, and then J-Luke is going to be a bit powerless. He has broken DRS somehow. Of course, Stumpy having a bit of a hard time with it down there. I do feel it for him. He is not having the best of races, but hopefully he can get himself back into the mix. Now, Mr. Pop is going to have to get past Storm, and he's going to have to get past him fairly swiftly. Storm obviously has not pit, and what he doesn't want to have, especially with a 5-second time pen, as LR Patrick picks up another pen. I'm really sorry if I'm picking on you, but you just seem to be getting loads of pens. As Kieran gets another pen, I believe. This should be easy. He has to make this stick. He wants a really good exit as well out of turn 2/3/2, because if not, he's going to be susceptible under this DRS that Storm is going to inherit from him. He needs to keep it. If he can keep it through this corner, he's fine, and he will probably stretch. Yeah, absolutely fine. You'll find that gap will grow, and we will move on to brighter, more lively fights, such as the one where United Bosnia doesn't send it down the inside of Mayor Kieran. Oh, and Dylan super late on the brakes, nearly breaking his, well, he can't break his wing because they're made of whatever the black box is made out of on airplanes for this race, but it would have been fairly it could have been costly. It could have span him anyway. Storm's doing really well to stay within that DRS, and that again, it's just another example of Storm's race coming together really nicely on this medium set. You know, he's got gaps down to the midfield, and he's benefiting just from this pull along. It's fantastic news for him, and it's such a shame DJ Williamson couldn't stay with this, because he was right in it as United Bosnia kicks up another pen, and he is going to have a look obviously into turn 2. Dylan taking loads of pace. Oh, what's happened there? That just seemed too easy. Oh, United Bosnia's binned it. Oh, what has he done? Oh, what a nightmare. And Matt Kieran, I'm not going to give him an air horn because he didn't do anything well. It just seemed like the other two just really stacked it up. Dylan and United Bosnia really making mistakes out here, enabling Kieran, who almost seemed like he'd given up on the place, to retain it. And this is where the battles are. I mean, Pop actually looks a little bit more pacey on these mediums. The gap between him and Mr. Ferrari is nowhere near growing as much as I thought it would be. As Paulus gets another pen. You've been getting pens too. I'm going to stop picking on Patrick. It's the P's. It's the triple P's, the Paulus and Patrick penalty show. As Dylan now. Dylan is not shy about making moves. I know that for a fact. He gets a fantastic exit there, and yeah, he's going to have too much of a run to even think about not going for the move into turn 2, and he'll need to make it stick. Fantastic effort. What is United Bosnia doing? Now you need to be worried, Kieran, but you don't have to be, and you've got DRS. He slips back in very clunkily into the slipstream, and he's taken the outside, which it just doesn't work. Have a look at Mr. Albon. Check his experiences of taking the outside. It tends to be a bad idea. You definitely want to be nailing it down the inside here. And Bosnia has done well to retain his composure. It would have been very easy for him to go off after that mistake. You would have been frustrated with yourself. But he is sticking to the back. Sorry, but yeah, Patrick, mate, you're getting pens. I'm gonna have to. I'll stop calling them out now. I feel bad. Yeah, why are people quitting? Yeah, you know, this is a pace evaluation. You shouldn't really quit. it can be frustrating though, you know. You shouldn't quit, absolutely not, you should not quit, but I do understand to a degree. Not condoning it, I'm just saying I do understand. I'm missing a battle here. J-Luke, there's lap cars everywhere, so this isn't particularly ideal. This is messed up. Not being slightly glitched. I can see that Kieran, forgive me, Kieran and Dylan are taking it to the streets out here, but I'm struggling just because of the lapped cars are showing up as actually in position, so it's not particularly helping me. Although, are they lapped? Maybe it's just because he hasn't stopped. I think it might be actually. Ignore me. Patrick going very offline, and you do pick up warnings for that in this game now. I think that's probably maybe where people are picking up more pens is when they go offline and they keep the foot down. You're still gonna get penalised. There's Kieran now up the inside. That is a beautiful move, but can he get it stuck? He managed to keep the DRS too, and he's gone around the outside again. I just don't think this is going to work. I think Dylan's far too... Oh, and Dylan gets a time pen there. Oh, very clunky, not particularly ideal. Bosnia's had a rough time of it at some point, and he has dropped back, and that's not ideal, but he'll want to keep these two guys just in fighting away. Patrick needs to be careful, in all seriousness. He needs to be careful that he's not going to pick other pens. Storm pits. He's going to take those tyres a very, very long way. And that could be dangerous. Well, it's not going to be dangerous because you can't get a puncture, but they're going to lose a lot of performance. Might be not the most solid ideas, actually. And what's he going to do? It says he's on 20 lap old softs. We know that's not true. It'd be crucial for him to get past Felipe. This is big. This is very, very big for him. As Dylan and Kieran are taking it to the streets. I've missed this. They just keep doing it every lap, and it keeps being Kieran who gets the DRS, but he's finally learnt the way. And he got past anyway into the apex to the point where he doesn't have to compromise any entrance. But good luck keeping Dylan behind. That's not going to be easy. J-Luke with a 3-second time pen. I mean, the actual order of this could be here, there and everywhere. I'm not going to check the pens because I'd much rather see the action on the track. But Felipe, he is going to drop back like a stone. Storm's going to be a man on a mission. Storm should be able to get Brent fairly quickly. The big question is, how far can he climb? Can he get involved in this battle? If these two keep fighting hammer and tong, he's really not that far, and we'll be seeing him taking it to both of them, but then he might just get stuck in the train. He would ideally really want one of them to pull a second apart, because then he's got a clear... He's free of trains. He's completely free of trains. And he's going to make this light work, I think, into turn 2. Fantastic effort. Great move. Great move to get that done. And unless I'm mistaken, I think that will stick. Dylan getting now a little bit behind Kieran. Staying with him, but he'll want to have improved movement. Storm now needs to break that second barrier. He should do. The nature of these corners, they promote understeer through your tyres. So with that grippier rubber, you'll see, yeah, the delta flies up, and this will be no problem. He'll be well over a second away, and now he can start turning his attention to Mr. Bosnia, who is going to feel very isolated and would probably wished he'd stuck a little bit tighter to the back of the Williams and the Racing Point. Dylan now having a look at Kieran. He won't be, I would imagine he's not going to be looking to do this into turn 2. He is going to want to do this into turn 4. He'd up with a unfortunate pen. No, he's proved me wrong. He's done it. He's sent it up the inside. Great move. Kieran looking for the switchback, and that is absolutely brilliant, because now he's driven away with that DRS. That is track management at its absolute best. Fantastic. As Storm does get past United Bosnia, And again, we have got some serious interesting dynamics building, I suppose. But Storm's not going to break. Oh, he might just get the DRS break on United Bosnia, but it's going to be tight. Bosnia. Oh, apologies. It's going to be tight. There's Paulus now on the back of J-Luke. That's something that's kind of developing. Dylan on Kieran. These two are battling each other into oblivion because they're going to have Storm coming up behind them. This is great battling though. Great respect on track between these two. But Storm will just be absolutely loving it seeing this. Oh, there's a tiny bit of contact there as Kieran goes wide. Doesn't seem to affect his run. But Dylan's going to have DRS. And he goes to the inside. It's the inside every time. J-Luke's round. And Dylan proving that the inside line is the best. And all of a sudden, wow, now we've got a fantastic little... This is set up perfectly for this 4th place on track anyway. I'm not overly fussed about the rest of the pens right now, but this is just fantastic to see, because what you've got J-Luke on the better tyre, I suppose, but seemingly not as naturally quick as Dylan and Mayor Kieran. And then you have Storm on the cheat code tyres. This is going to be... Well, actually, do you know what the big thing really will be? Storm needs to get past one of these guys, in my opinion. Patrick's been disqualified. And it doesn't overly shock me as Kieran now goes down the inside. He's returning the favour on Dylan. Oh, he nearly goes round, and Storm has had to play the blinder. This is exactly what Storm needed. This is an absolute pants camera angle. Storm now, he needed that so badly, because he's got out of this train and he is going to fly past Dylan. And ironically, Dylan and Kieran coming together has cost both Dylan and Kieran compared to Storm, and now Storm can just get after J-Luke. Could be on for a podium here. And how are those mediums going to hold up? How are those softs going to hold up? The softs are going to go at some point, so he needs to make hay while the sun shines, or he's going to be in a right load of trouble. Dylan's staying with Storm though. That's a worrying sign for Storm and those tyres. He needs to get out of Dodge. He really does. It's easier said than done with someone as quick as Dylan. Dylan is a very quick driver, and he's painfully consistent at times when he wants to be. He's just chucking lap after lap of just pressure after pressure. While we have a slight gap in play, I just want to give a big shout out obviously to Mr. F1 Ferrari. You've not been getting the screen time your race deserves so far. Absolutely fantastic performance alongside Mr. Pop, who is doing absolutely stellar work trying to keep in contact with him, and fantastic performance from those two. As Dylan still staying with Storm, who is catching J-Luke, so J-Luke's going to be the head of this train. Storm will need to make quick work of this, and Kieran has really dropped off the pace. If that's more concentration or just anything else, because he was showing great pace for quite a while. Storm, the traction he's getting out of that corner is just second to none. Dylan just can't get close enough. Great effort. Great effort from Storm. Loses a bit of time. Loses a bit of time to J-Luke. Dylan with 3 seconds. The pens are all over the show. They truly are. But, you know, this is an evaluation race. This is more about seeing people's pace to a degree. So pens do factor, but you know, also seeing their racecraft as well. A lot of these guys might not have actually raced against each other too much. Some will have, and some will in other places too, but not always. They might be the first time they've encountered each other, so it's always a bit of a feeding out process to work out who it is you're racing and what that means and how they drive and some of their idiosyncrasies. You're going to have to work them out. As Dylan doing absolutely stellar work, keeping with Storm, and it almost seems like you would imagine at some point we're going to see a very visible demonstration of those softs going off, because Dylan should be able to get past him and make light work of it randomly. It will probably happen at a very random point. The battle in the background is really good too. You know, there's more to come from that, I suspect. Bosnia's catching Kieran. You've got Brent there. Felipe is a bit isolated, but you've got Eduk as well. Eduk coming into the fight of it, looking to get those last points for a race that doesn't carry points. But we all know that 10th is better than 11th, so we always fight for it. So who do we think's coming third as Killer Brent gets another penalty? As Dylan does get past Storm. Oh, but he locks up horribly. He locks up horribly. And Storm, he hoped for a better race. He hoped for a bit of better fortune. He's received it. The comings together with Kieran and Dylan. And obviously, moments like that where he's broken DRS and he gets him off his back for a bit as United Bosnia picks up 3 seconds. Storm just has to concentrate now and try and, as best he can, if he can just get in the DRS. As Kieran picks up 3 seconds, just get in the DRS of J-Luke. It should be enough to deter Dylan being able to pass him. It's all he needs to do. He doesn't need to do crazy amounts. Oh, we've got a yellows here, and that is Felipe. It's really frustrating, actually. I don't know what he's doing. I think he'd lost it under traction, to be fair. Dylan with another pen. Dylan's pushing. Dylan must be absolutely, really giving this a go. As Eduk, I feel a bit sorry for Eduk now, because that would have been hit. That was almost, must have been what he was aiming for, to just challenge and try and. As Storm's nearly there, but Dylan's nearly there. Oh, don't tell me. That's really. Oh no, he didn't give DRS. That's okay. That's fine. That would have just skewed it a bit meanly for me. I wouldn't have liked that. Some really patchy performances today. Killer Brent had some good pace, but then it seems like he's made a few mistakes out there. United Bosnia doing decent work out here alongside Kieran. Very good pace from Kieran compared to some of the stuff I've seen. There's yellows. Why is there yellows? Is that Paulus? It's Paulus! Paulus is round, and that is very unfortunate for him. He was in a very demanding position, and that's just wrecked any chance of a podium for him. He's going to be dead frustrated, and Eduk might be looking to have a new challenger to the game, as Dylan is in that DRS. United Bosnia comes in. What's United Bosnia in for? He's trying to get fastest lap. Very strange. Storm just can't quite get to that DRS of J-Luke, who now finds himself in a podium position. Fantastic effort from him. You do feel like there could be more to come. If Storm can keep pushing, it's not over. Mr. Ferrari, again, just a massive shout out to you. You're absolutely flying, F1 Ferrari 516. Good on you. You're doing absolutely stellar work. And Mr. Pop XL as well. They're just a different class, and to be different class to some of these drivers isn't always the easiest thing to do. They are showing that they are, you know, very talented at this game, and they might, again, I have no idea who's in D1, but they might find themselves that they need more of a challenge than what they might have from these guys, which is no offence to these guys at all. As Dylan now looks down the inside of Storm, and that is going to be heartbreak. And the worst thing is, I think Dylan, well, there's an irony to this, because I think Dylan's going to be able to catch up to the back of J-Luke, so we're going to have this final battle. I know Dylan's got a lot of pens. I've seen his name pop up a few times. I have no idea about the rest of the situation. The beauty is we can kind of stay with this battle now, because it is the only one on track, and it's the most interesting dynamic too between those three tyre differences. Dylan with another pen. He's getting pens around that corner quite a lot. He's obviously cutting the line too far from the right hand side apex, and it's costing him time. It's costing him chunks of time. And Storm now, Storm just needs to ride the storm. He needs to just stay with Dylan, who is not going to have problems defending him, because now he has that DRS. As Storm picks up a pen, and J-Luke made a massive mistake, and now he's going to be overtaken into this corner. This could allow Storm, and he's going to have DRS, but I think J-Luke will too. This is going to be a fair fight to the line. And J-Luke just keeps it. Now, I would favour Dylan now, especially with this tyre situation, as United Bosnia does pick up the fastest lap. Good on you, my man. Mr. Pop with a 3-second pen. That's not going to mean tons, I don't think. Although if he's within 3 seconds after pens in this race, then I'll eat my words. As Storm, we're now seeing, interestingly, the hard tyres leading the mediums, leading the softs, and that's probably a bit of an indication as to what's happening with the tyres, and it wouldn't surprise me if this is the way it stayed. J-Luke is losing time rapidly off the back of Dylan now. Dylan just needs to break away. And yet another mistake there, another mistake from J-Luke. He's really not enjoying that first corner. Thankfully for him, he had the DRS, which probably got him out of dodge a little bit, got him out of trouble. Great battle. Killer Brent catching onto the back of Kieran. We'll keep our eye on that, because he is doing very good work out here. Storm doing very good on those tyres. Really, really impressive performance. At the moment, it's hard to look past driver of the day for Mr. F1 Ferrari, of course, in some senses, but I think those two guys are just a class above the rest. So if you had to ask me who my driver of the day was right now, I would probably say Storm. Not the easiest start to quali. Didn't have the best of races yesterday. And J-Luke picks up that could be crucial. J-Luke picks up 3 seconds with 2 laps to go. So at the moment, my driver of the day would probably be Storm, unless something very, very, very big happens. He's certainly not on 47 lap old softs. I hope that gets patched sooner rather than later, because I tell you what, if you're having to do a lobby of 20 guys in here, it would be pretty hard to remember everyone's strategies and how they worked out. The gap is now starting to really kind of formulate between these guys, and I do think it's tyre wear focused more than anything. They're just not able to follow very easily anymore. Felipe picks up 3 seconds. We will go on board with our eventual... Oh, someone's lost it. It's Storm. I've cursed him. Oh, it's going to give him driver of the day. And he's lost it like Kanye West. Absolute scenes. I can't believe it. I can't actually believe it. That is absolutely heartbreaking, as we have F1 Ferrari coming around on the last lap. J-Luke. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe I was going to give him... Oh, my life. I feel so bad. Oh, no, 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 no. But we have to follow around. We have to follow around with F1 Ferrari 516. A stellar car, a stellar drive. Fantastic effort from him, well deserved. And Mr. Pop comes round. I'm assuming this will be for second, unless something crazy has happened that has kind of caught me off guard. He was very far back, not as far back as Dylan, who is in a battle here. I think Storm would have got a podium. I really do. I didn't see his name pop up as much as this man, who's picked up more penalties than Man United at home. Yeah, J-Luke jumps him. Now what can Kieran do? This man had a few. Killer Brent. I haven't seen his name too many times. Kieran jumps. Killer. Yeah, this is crazy. Oh, Storm. Storm in 6th, just ahead of Educk. And Paulus, he had a lot of pens too. He comes over in 9th. Felipe already finished the line. United Bosnia running wide. And he will collect the last point, I believe, in 10th. Oh, I feel absolutely dreadful. TCG Storm got driver of the day on the game. I think that's a bit of a mock. Oh gosh, that is dreadful. I feel it for him, I really do. But let's take nothing away from the winner here. F1 Ferrari 516. Absolutely brilliant performance. Mr. Pop in 2nd. And J-Luke inheriting the world there in 3rd place. Fantastic effort from him. You feel like it could have been another Mercedes. I mean, let's have a look. Storm, he had 12 seconds of pens. No, it wouldn't have mattered, I don't think, actually. It wouldn't have mattered. I think J-Luke would have won that on track, so apologies to J-Luke. Not taking anything away from you. There's Patrick with that DSQ with 30 seconds, and there's a few people not too far off. There was a 21 for Dylan. F1 Ferrari so consistent, well played in 1st place. Mr. Pop in 2nd, J-Luke in 3rd, Kieran in 4th with 9 secs, Killer Brent in 5th. Good solid performance from him, not the best of races, but well played, and he's beaten Dylan, Storm, Educk, Paulus, and United Bosnia round up the points with Felipe, Stumpy, Williamson and Patrick. Felipe finishing, the other 3 not. Yeah, I am genuinely sorry. I am genuinely sorry for that curse. Xavier Purcell, nice to see you in the chat there. How does he not have a puncture yet? They weren't that old. It was just a game glitch. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, guys. I enjoyed it. It's rare for me to be able to get to commentate and be my big, bold, bashful self. Normally I have people around and it's not as easy to commentate. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and I do wish you guys the best of luck this season. This might be I might be racing quite a few of you, hopefully, in this league as a reserve at some point. I would love to be able to get the opportunity to race against some of these guys. So yeah, that'd be fun. But congratulations again to F1 Ferrari, and see you all. I will certainly be tuning in next week for the last evaluation race held at Silverstone. Thanks, guys.